Okay, so looks like we're on live now. What are we going to talk today? Ontario K1-8 math curriculum. Here's the reason why I want to say something about it. At least I have heard a few people saying that the Ontario math is just too simple, too easy compared with Asian countries. I have the Asian background, and then I original think maybe that's the case. But when I am observing what my grade 2 kids is learning at school, and also checking the Ontario government websites, I feel like they might be wrong. And so here is the thing. Ontario Math 2020 version for elementary school K1-8. So basically the way they develop the curriculum based on areas. So I have 8 areas. Let me see if I can find them. Curriculums, I think, yes. So elementary curriculum K-8, kindergarten to 8. And I think we're interested in math, so go to math. You will find an overview and then all kinds of grades, and then curriculum PDF, which is basically a PDF consisting of, well, it's a long, very lengthy document. You can find all the details regarding what the government are asking the teachers to teach. And then they provide a lot of stuff actually. For example, if you look into grade 2 math, what actually math are consisting of. So there are expectations by strength. That means by different, in my view, is basically a fancy word of saying the different areas or different aspects from education purpose, and what are strengths. And then there are a few, basically that's what's listed on the left hand side, A, B, C, D, E, F, though they are totally six category, if you say so. So first one is about social emotional learning. So it seems to be familiar, right? It's math, but how come they're talking about social and emotional as the A, which means it's the most important one? Then if you have a question, you want to go and look at it. And then for me, since I'm interested, and then I download the PDF. If you go to the link, you can get a PDF. And here's the PDF. First one is SEL, social emotional learning. Very kind of things. That is from grade 1 to 8, and then the overall expectation A1, that is 1 page. And so because it's 1 page instead of 100, so I have the time to read it through. So basically it's a supportive role for the other learning. It's basically develop the students so that will be able to learn more, to become basically a math learner. So that's the fundamental. If you are coming from the Asian background, and then if you think about Kung Fu, that's basically developing the internal capability instead of how you would pose a gesture in Kung Fu. And then how could they do it? How could the school or maybe the educational organizations evaluate this? So these are the 6 abilities the students would learn. First, identify and manage emotions. Okay, and then underneath you will see stress, cope with change, and be perseverance, and then will be able to communicate, and then to be aware, and then to be able to identify, and then lastly to be able to think critically and creatively. If you consider, if you just forget this is about math, and then you are reading this through, maybe you would not recognize that it's talking about math, but that is about math. And thinking about when you were young, maybe in the age of elementary school, maybe you have less similar emotion, right? The math challenge problem, math by itself is abstract. It's an abstraction of many things. And then, but to handle this, basically, we need to manage internally first, emotion, stress, and be able to consistent, and then to keep learning. And then you also need to be able to communicate. If you learn something and you cannot communicate, it's not that good. And then, of course, you need to be able to identify and to be able to develop awareness about what you are learning, and then to think critically and creatively. So that is the A objective or expectation. Then there will be B, numbers, algebra, data, spatial sense, financial literature. For many Asian parents, they complain about numbers, and probably they did not learn algebra or data and maybe financial literature in the math when they are in elementary school in Asian countries. Maybe at least one Asian countries. I was from Asia, and then in my past, I think in my elementary school, I don't think I ever learned how to manage data. I have no idea what data is. I think the idea of data came from somewhere else instead of the elementary school. And then if you go into data, then you will see D1. Well, by the way, this is grade 2. Just grade 2. And then D1 is data literacy. And then all kinds of expectations, collection, manage, visualize it, and analyze it. You will see how fancy it could be. The student need to be able to visualize data and analyze data. Less math. In fact, that it is. Excel, right? You may or may not be using Excel every day. Less math. And then probability, that's even fancier. How could you know? Would you, if you are from that background, learning a lot of, you are thinking that you were learning a lot of math when you were in elementary school 20 or 30 years ago, and you know how to do very complex calculation, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and so on, but you probably would not remember when you start to learn the idea of probability, right? In Ontario, at least on grade 2, the students are expected to learn probability, and then there are more teachers support materials, example, key concept, simple task, and then remember again, this is just for grade 2. It's not for university students. All right, and then last data, and then you might wonder how come data is related to probability. Well, if you are not from engineering background, you might have that kind of wondering. But if you're engineering background, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Probability and data, they are just two sides of coins. From mathematical perspective, probability is the way to model data, right? And then it's a tool. It's a concept created back maybe in the 19th century or maybe earlier than that. And then if you're Asian country, it's your Asian background, in traditional Asian culture, there's a lack of probability layer. Right? The idea of a probability is lacking. And then, okay, let's go back to numbers. What is Asian parents? I always assume that Ontario, how come you are teaching the students with so little math? Because they're complaining about the numbers, right? But remember, numbers just one of the 6 topics for a grade 2 student would need to learn in math. So numbers, B1, number sense. Okay, how to make sense of numbers. And here are the expectations, whole numbers. And fractions, right? Fractions. But you will see they're using very, very simple baby steps, basically. But the idea is important. You need to develop that idea from whole number, and then you develop the idea of fraction numbers, and so on. Starting baby step. And then coming back to operation. That's most of the parents are complaining about. Wow, they are so easy. How come grade 2 can only do little math? Let's look at the complaint. And then let's look into how the Ontario would expect grade 2 student to be able to do math number operation, right? At the end of the day, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division are just math operations. They are just operations. And then you might remember when you are younger, if you are Asian parents, you might remember you need to memorize a lot of stuff. But here in Ontario, it seems memorization is not a big part of things. Instead, here are the things. Here are the specific applications, properties and relationships. And then you go to examples and math facts and mental math. And then addition, subtraction. So here's the thing, B2, 3 4. The students would be able to use object diagram equation to represent, describe, and solve situations involving addition and subtraction of the whole number that adds no more than 100. Just no more than 100? That means it's so small, right? The parents are complaining, but that's not the issue. I don't think that's ever a problem at all. It's just you need to be comfortable with smaller, and then the algorithms are the same, the approach are the same, the strategies are different, and then I don't think you would expect your children to be a calculator, right? You would expect them to be a problem solver. They will be able to use math to solve problem. And then even if you expect the children to be a mathematician in their life, they are not supposed to be calculator, they are cheap, right? And then they are also learning multiplication and division, but if you look into it, they are small. For example, B26 represent division up to 12 items as equal shares of quantity and solve related problem use various tools and drawings. Sounds like baby, right? But that doesn't matter. It's a way to develop a sense of quantity. So suppose you are in a position, you know nothing, you cannot remember what you learn, what you memorize actually when you are in your childhood. Parents, I'm talking to parents actually, I'm a parent, so I'm talking to my peers essentially. How could you solve this problem, right? Then if you want to go into it, then these are the examples, key concept, and simple task. So I think I want to zoom out a little bit here to conclude what I really want to say. So Ontario Math, I think, is really comprehensive in terms of developing the students. But you might complain, wow, the students are so bad in math and so on. But that's not something I can do. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a parent. And then from expectation perspective, based on Ontario government, they are very comprehensive, and you will even see that financial literacy, right? Money and finance. Money is related to math, right? And everybody loves money. And also, if you are interested, you should be able to find more from the website, well, especially this PDF on what actually is expected. For example, in the number 1, if you go to, it would range from grade 1 to grade 8, and then for each grade, there are different expectations. And let's represent the journey for the students. To be honest with you, even though no one's listening, no one's on this live chat, on this live streaming, I am learning day by day, almost not exactly day by day, week by week, by observing what my daughter is learning. A grade 2, for example, data is something I learned, I think the most recently. For example, Venn diagram and Carroll diagram. So D1, short sets of data about people and things according to attributes, using tables and logic diagrams, including Venn and Carroll diagrams. Does it sound really technical to you? If yes, you might recognize that the description of here sounds like machine learning, right? A typical machine learning, you will have features, and then here is attributes. So you have some data with 2 features, and then you want to collect and organize the data into Venn diagram and Carroll diagram. So what's Carroll diagram? So here are the examples. Those is I think that's a Carroll diagram. Well, two-way tally table. Well, I think I need education here, right? As a pair. Oh, okay. So that one is two-way tally table. And then here's the Venn diagram. You will see the pie the chart with two overlapping circles, and then the Carroll diagram. You will see that one. That's Carroll diagram. 2 by 2, basically 2 by 2 matrix, right? And these ideas, well, they are seeds, right? They are seeds in the grade 2's head, and then I hope and I also believe that it's the case that in the future, when the students going from grade 2 to grade 3 and so on, the seeds will grow. For example, the matrix, the idea of a matrix is a two-dimensional matrix, 2 by 2, and then this kind of ideas, a 2 by 2 matrix, break it into good, not good, game, not game, and then come up with a number. It's actually what we are as adults. Some of us are making decisions. The way we make decisions are basically breaking these complex reality into simple way, so that we can find a boundary, and then to set up some strategy. For example, if you're managing your daily activity, maybe what you would do is based on the importance, right? Important, not important, and also urgency. Urgent, not urgent, and then come up with the 2 by 2 combination, and you make the decision and then put your highest priority on the important and urgent events and take the action on it as soon as possible. And then for that not important and not urgent one, it will be the lowest priority. And then there are two other cases: urgent but not important, and then also important but not urgent. It depends, but it depends on what you are, what your situation is. So let's Carroll diagram. This is a very important life idea, and it has been introduced in grade 2. Well, the grade 2 student may not know the long-term implication in their life, but I hope the seed is sitting there, and then it would be the student and also the parents and also society as well at the end to grow the seeds and develop their mentality towards something at the end. Okay, so that is all I have to say for Ontario Math. This is not a topic this channel is supposed to talk about. This channel is all about money and math. And then Ontario Math. Well, yeah, it might be a little bit related to what the theme I originally designed for this channel. Alright, so that is all I have to say, and we have no viewers. That's good, that's fine. I will end the streaming for now. I might randomly turn on for streaming when I'm feeling I'll have something to chat with. Hopefully next time I will have someone online. Bye.